Travis Wayne Goodsell. I'm sure all of you have a job who are watching, even Mormons who are critical of me. I'm sure you've gotten an education for that job, and that you did well in school, and that you're good at your job, right? I'm pretty sure your job wouldn't keep you if you sucked at your job, if you didn't know your job. Now imagine somebody comes in to your life as they come to your place of work. They do advertise, or you have advertising on YouTube for your work, and you have people who are not only outside of your job, but people from within your job who attack you for being good at your job, for being educated in your job, because you know your job. You know how it works. When you watch movies that involve your job, you're able to say, oh, no, that's not how it works. You need to do this. And not only that, you have people outside of your job and even within your own job attacking your commercials that you post about your job, the videos you do about your job, and people send you death threats. People argue with you, saying that, nope, you're wrong, your knowledge, your education is wrong. And they bear testimony that there's a spiritual way to do your job, and that you should do that instead, otherwise they're sending you death threats. They're getting angry with you. They call you names. Now yes, that's what's being done to me. I'm born and raised Mormon. I believe the Book of Mormon is true. And Mormons want me dead. Mormons want me silenced. I get Mormons bearing testimony contrary to my knowledge, my education. We get Mormons using belief to tell me my knowledge is wrong. It's not their career. They were just born and raised Mormon too. But you have to actually do the work like you did for your career. You can't just go to church every Sunday and call yourself an expert. Because you live in a home, does that make you an expert contractor? I've lived in a home all my life. I think I know. See, for me, I had found out that Joseph Smith, after receiving the papyri, wanted to learn Hebrew, and he wanted to learn Greek. He had obtained some English grammar, or an English dictionary, but also obtained some Hebrew and Greek lexicons and grammars. And one of the Hebrew grammars that he obtained, we can see that evidence in the Abraham facsimiles. Instead of saying Rakia, Joseph Smith uses Rakiyang. Now we know who the Hebrew teacher was, Josiah Sykes, or Joshua Sykes, I believe it is. He's a rabbi, the foremost rabbi in the world at that time, who had published his alphabet and grammar of Hebrew. And there Joseph Smith was, getting him to teach him some Hebrew. So when I end up passing marriage with Michelle Benz, passing marriage with Leanne Murdoch, and settling. This is retrospect. She divorced me with Stephanie Thompson. She was half Canadian. She took me from Rick's, far away from my parents, which is what I wanted, to Canada. After finishing my associates at Rick's in Mormonism, for the most part, the first semester before my mission, it was all for sports. It was like, I'm going on a mission. Why should I study hard? I'm going to take what I want. Parents are paying for it, so whatever I need, they'll give me. But my mission caused me to want to know my religion. And so I went to the University of Lethbridge. And after getting chased out of careers from feminists, and I'm not talking about the general feminism, I'm talking about the hardcore feminists who hate men, who want men destroyed from the face of the earth so that women can reign supreme. That extreme. Yes, Canada has them. They give you dirty looks just for showing up in their classroom. They ignore you. They dismiss you. And so, yeah, they made it very clear I was not welcome. And I was chased out. And so I then decided, well, I'm going to take what I want then. They don't have the degree for me. Even when I took the career aptitude tests back in grade school, everything showed up, even janitorial service. It was all tested low. There was no career field for me. So that wasn't cool. There was no follow-up for that test. It was like, oh, here's a career aptitude test, find out what you're good at, and so that you can take the middle school and high school electives that will supplement your desired career field, help guide you. There was nothing for me. And so I had to make my own path in life. And so that's what I did at the University of Lethbridge. As I did with Rick's, I chose to go into sports. I chose Mormon religion when I got back. And so I chose specific classes rather than following a major, because there wasn't one that I wanted. And so in the last year, the guidance counselor for Lethbridge called me in and said, we noticed you haven't picked a major. And we see that from the classes you've taken, we can create a dual bachelor's with a minor so that you can graduate. I created my own degrees, dual bachelor's and a minor. I created it. I chose the classes. They didn't have the majors for me. But they were cool enough to say, hey, we'll create, for the first time ever in the world's history, these particular degrees for you. When I later went to the University of Utah and found out that their Hebrew major is a fraud, they didn't have near enough courses to graduate with a Hebrew degree. So I bailed on that, and again did what I did at Lethbridge. Took the courses that I wanted to take, but at the University of Utah, they didn't step in to say, hey, we see you've taken these courses. No, they weren't interested. They wanted my money, even though it was grant money, and that was it. Even their University of Utah hospital, medical place, extorts from students. They tried pulling a scam, saying, oh, our doctors are far superior than anybody's in the world. And they went through the education. That was their career field. How am I supposed to know otherwise? I wasn't happy with it because I couldn't register for classes until I had extra shots. And if I didn't want to take the shot, then I was forced to take another shot to test if I needed to take the shot, which was of course more expensive. So I took the shot, and the reaction showed that I didn't need it. My shots were just fine. And so, by their fruits, you shall know them. And in this particular instance, you actually have good fruits. You had the education, you got good grades, you got a career field, you're good at your job. You're not trying to pull a scam on anybody. And so at the University of Lethbridge, because they created a job for me, I was provided with the foremost Hebrew scholar other than Thomas O. Lambden of Harvard. He studied under him. Walter Emanuel Aufrecht. Now, his name's not popular. He chose to go into geology. They took him from his geology courses and added a special Hebrew course just for me. And so I was taught all things Hebrew. Because this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity created just for me by the University of Lethbridge. And he taught us about Paleo-Hebrew. How nobody, not even William Foxwell Albright, actually knows Hebrew. Paleo-Hebrew, that is. Nobody's deciphered it. People have deciphered Semitic Hebrew. That's different. And you have books published contemporary with the time and before then that have attempted to show that, well, Paleo-Hebrew is the original script, and then it transformed into the Aramaic script, and no. I witnessed a miracle with my education. To be in the right place at the right time, even though I made the wrong choice in marriage. Should have chosen Leanne. Should have chosen door number 2. But nonetheless, the choice that I made, I actually believed that the way was being paved before me to accomplish what God wanted me to accomplish. Because as I chose my degrees, dual bachelor's and minor, and then at the University of Utah, all Eva Vasilevska, with a few others. And if you don't know Eva Vasilevska, she is the only woman, the only American to have been allowed in Saddam Hussein's Iraq. She's an archaeologist. She teaches anthropology. I hope she still teaches. She's had some medical issues. But she's the one who published the book covering the god, Hebrew god Yah, as being an anthropomorphic deity. Because the current belief is that he's like the Trinity God. Nope. The Jews did not believe in Trinity. Elohim is not supposed to be plural. Well, it is supposed to be plural. What am I saying? One of those little slips of the tongue. Yeah, it's not supposed to be singular. It's in the plural. Just as Joseph Smith says it was in A King Full of Discourse. And yes, I go on with my created degree to be the decipherer of Paleo-Hebrew. And then with that, I then go on to be the decipherer of Egyptian facsimiles, as you understand them. I refer to them as picture glyphs. They're hieroglyphs, but they're not text. They're pictures. You know, like the pictures in a storybook for kids. You have the text, and then you have pictures, so that while you're reading to your kid, the kid sees the pictures and hears the text, because they don't know how to read yet. And typically, the words are supposed to correspond with the pictures. Those pictures in Egyptian are not listed in any Egyptologist sign list. They don't think it's supposed to be translated. Oops! So I walked right into it because I deciphered Paleo-Hebrew. I went, oh, well then that means that this picture glyph, the facsimiles, was what I had access to. I now see multiple levels of translation with the picture glyphs. So I deciphered Egyptian picture glyphs. And then I'm able to make the discovery, oh, well that translation of that picture glyph, that's from the Bible. And that's from the Bible. And that's that part of the Bible. And then that's part of that Bible. And this one, well, this is in the Bible multiple times. This one seems to be a key to the whole Bible, the Egyptian Heliopolis creation glyph. It's just simply Shu separating Nut from Geb. That simple picture glyph has multiple translations. Creation of heaven and earth, story about the actual Egyptian characters, the Nile River inundation, the sexual education for the perpetuation of the species. All of that is contained within those three characters in a single picture glyph without text. And so, as a Mormon, believing the Book of Mormon, I even found the Egyptian source documents that are referred to. You know, Zenos, Zenoch. They say they're referring to the brass plates, which were in Egyptian, and so they're talking about these characters that are supposedly on the brass plates. I found them in the Egyptian documents. Isn't that awesome? Should have been. And so when I come to Utah, as I am one of the Zeitgeist movement scholars, and now I'm the last after D.M. Murdoch died. I would have thought that the church would have wanted to know that Joseph Smith is a legitimate translator of Paleo-Hebrew from the King Follett Discourse. I didn't know about Louis Zucker's speech to BYU. I didn't know about Mark Hoffman, the bomber. I didn't know about September 6th. They actually, yeah, they were before. I didn't know about Bishop Spalding of Utah in 1900. I didn't know of the return of the papyri from the Metropolitan Museum of Art in 67. I just grew up in the church, had read from the church history about the King Follett Discourse, was given the miraculous opportunity in Lethbridge, having chosen door number 3. And my education in Lethbridge involved other things, because Hebrew was just added for the minor. Hebrew, Greek, and Latin. That was my minor. The dual bachelors involved development of scientific theories, specifically so that I went on to decipher Paleo-Hebrew. As my teacher said, nobody's deciphered it. I already had the courses prior to. I knew how to do it. And so I approached the church. And the church creates a troublemaker file for me. F. Michael Watson, who was secretary to Gordon B. Hinckley, tried to have me excommunicated. But Gordon B. Hinckley gave me the golden key, acknowledging that I am the church's foremost scholar in all things Mormonism. Because my ability with the scriptures surpassed Bruce R. McConkie's. And I was the second youngest person during those committees working on the project for the footnotes of the 2009 foreign language editions of the scriptures. We were assigned to remove topical guide and Bible dictionary footnote references and replace them with guide to the scripture references where necessary. Because there is no Bible dictionary, no topical guide for the foreign language quads. It was guide to the scriptures now. But because of my superior knowledge of Mormonism, my career field, I was the youngest to be placed in the top committee, overseeing all the other committees. There's a video of the member of the 70 who was in charge of it. They put him in charge. Well, he was supposed to oversee, delegate. He instead worked on translating a Spanish text, a Spanish text, correcting it. I did the video where I think I did the video. I found out that he botched the translation. He's not very good at his own language that he went in to do the job for. I may not have done the video because I went to check one of the footnote changes that I had made and found out that the church rejected it. But in another passage, they did put my 2 in there that I did talk about in the video. And I did talk about it with you guys. Because, they kept my footnote changes. And that's what Mormons do not understand. I'm educated in Mormonism, not just born and raised Mormon. Our church is about ancient languages. It's about the ancient cultures of the ancient Middle East. It's about science as the core foundation of our religion. We have the vegetation theory for our process of faith. Science for faith. So to be a science denier and Mormon, you don't know Mormonism. If you think your spiritual witness knows better than science, that's not Mormonism. And so, like I said in the beginning, using you, hoping you would understand this. You don't know my history. Just like nobody knows you. And to have people and Mormons come to my channel, come to me in the church to ban me from attending church, to shun me from the neighborhood, all because I'm smarter than them, because I actually became a scholar of Mormonism. There is no PhD for Mormonism. But I created it. My thesis paper, decipherment of Hebrew, which showed that Joseph Smith is a translator. He was correct with the King Follett Discourse. I went on to do more. I made decipherments, made discoveries. And to have Mormons attack me because I tell you that Joseph Smith is a translator, that the Book of Mormon is true, just not a history, just not how your spiritual witness told you to believe it, just not as the prophets have told you to believe it. Yes, I'm smarter than the prophets, and you automatically assume I'm wrong. You don't check. You don't do the work. You don't do the education. You don't do the research. You're just sitting on your couches. You just attend church. And you think you're the expert who knows better. But, oh, no, the prophets are still better than you, though. Hinckley himself made me the top Mormon scholar. Again, just like the University of Lethbridge. They had no degree for me. So they created it from what I had done. Just like Hinckley, realizing who I am, then recognized me for that project. Because of the little incident with F. Michael Watson. But then a new pharaoh emerged who did not know me. Yeah. That one turned ugly. Because it's not bad enough that your own co-workers disagree with you, but to have your co-workers and your bosses not only remove you from your job, but get the government to disappear you like a mafia. And lock you up away from society for 6 years of your life. Your own job, whatever it is, imagine that. For doing your job, you're disappeared from society. You know, not a fake crime, you know, some planted evidence, like the Salt Lake airport director. Remember him? Still disappeared. We don't know what happened to him. He didn't plead guilty. He never got to that hearing. He's gone. Remember? Herbert wanted the airport open. He said, no, we've got a coronavirus. And then all of a sudden, 50,000 images of child porn got downloaded on your computer. Lock him up. And he's disappeared from society. Never to be heard of again. His whole life destroyed because he defied Herbert. No, we're not talking that extreme. They didn't make up any problems. They did, however, justify it with the troublemaker file that they created for me. Yeah. My crime was that I was a translator. My crime was that I'm smarter than the prophets. And so while I'm locked up like Abinadi, I start getting inspiration. You can call it revelation if you want. And I'm getting pissed. Because I know I'm gone forever. Why am I getting this inspiration? Well, it's because that was my education. That was just the natural consequences. How to improve your career, your workplace. Just like when I worked for Beehive Clothing, the warehouse. We had a 7-man crew that had to work full days, 5 days a week, and we had to work Saturdays to try to get caught up sufficiently for Monday. So we were working overtime with a 7-man crew. And I was told that the system that was currently in place is the best that they could come up with. Lots of people had tried to redesign it to try to make it better, and it all made it worse, so this one was the best. After losing or transferring out the manager and one of the guys quitting to get a better job, the new manager said, yeah, go ahead, let's implement it. The consequential results: 2 men needed for 4 hours. All caught up. We're done. That's how good I am at my job. And people were scared that they were going to lose their job. No, they just transferred you. That's all they did. They don't fire people. Unless you're me. But even then, they didn't fire me. I decided to quit. But that's another story. And so when you ignore my videos, when you ignore the information, when you argue with me that I'm the one who's wrong, when you bear testimony that I'm wrong, when you send me death threats, when you call me names, and especially when you're Mormon, you do not know what you're doing. And I'm not saying, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. You should know better. Because of my education, I know about the signs in the heavens. I know all about the latter-day prophecies. I knew how to research church history. I know all things Mormonism, the religion, the theology, the scriptures, the administration. I am the foremost scholar and scriptorian of Mormonism. I know more than the prophets. I've been doing the videos correcting the prophets. Yeah, it's their job to know all this. But I'm the one who knows it. I'm the one who did the work for it. They just were called to be in the position without any work necessary to achieve it. Nelson? Oh, he saved Kimball's life as a heart surgeon. So he was rewarded with becoming an apostle. That's it. Mormonism is not a cushy job, because if you screw up Mormonism, yeah, amen to the authority thereof. It falls. You kind of have to know what you're doing if you're going to be at the top. Nelson's not a translator. He's supposed to be a translator. All Mormons believe he's a translator. The church is still perpetuating, let God prevail. That's not only incorrect, that's the white supremacist version. That it makes it evil. Of all things, he should have known that one definition of Israel, that one translation, because it's supposed to be him. But it's not. So yeah, I know people aren't going to watch this video. People are still going to argue, thinking they know better. but I'm still going to try to reach out and trying different tactics for videos until something clicks. And it may be too late. I mean, we're in the final phase of the latter days. It may happen today. It could happen any time now. This may be the last video you see of me. Who knows? Because the fulfillment is from wickedness. They don't want to be righteous. The destruction, the murder, the civil war, the chaos. Yeah, they're not just going to stop and be good. Just like Mormons. Mormons are literally behaving as if they are past feeling. That they are following their own created idols. That they refuse truth. They refuse science. They deny it. They're denying Mormonism because they've created their own Mormonism. They do not know and recognize me. Creating excuses, calling me names, sending me death threats, as if I'm going to all of a sudden deny my knowledge, deny my education, for which I know I'm very good at, having produced fruit that others should recognize as good. And that's what I'm worried about, is that it's too late for Mormons to change. And so, yeah, check for the thumbs down. You'll see that Mormons are beyond hope. That's why destruction is coming.